out this week is the DMP birthday. So happy birthday to him. Shout him out on your social medias. I thought we had him back, but we don't. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go right into our sports fact of the week. So I'm gonna wait on that because this is special for Camille. I'm a vamp for time, so I'm gonna say that every week, every Thursday, no, sorry, every Tuesday, from 6:30 Central Time to around 7 o'clock Central Time, you can tap in with us. Live on YouTube. Join in the comments, participate, talk shit, do whatever you want to do. But we encourage participation from the crowd. So if you can join us every I keep wanting to say every Thursday, every Tuesday, 6:30 ish. We're live here on YouTube. You can also catch us on your favorite podcast, audio only platforms. Check us out.
Facts on facts on facts on facts. Thanks for holding us down, E, while we got back up to speed here.
Oh yeah.
I started to go into the sports fact of the week, and then I remembered that.
Mm-hmm. But you couldn't hear me back, so I was like, "Say it, I can hear
you." So sports fact of the week. It's called soft tennis. I thought this would be especially interesting to Camille. So the game overview is that it's a form of regular lawn tennis that can be played indoor or on outdoor courts. What makes it different is the soft, squishy ball, which means that the game is characterized by long rallies instead of powerhouse shots.
So it's more of a stamina-based tennis game. Because if you're going to have some long rallies, you're going to be out there for a minute. Is the scoring the same as regular tennis?
Rule resume. So serves can be played either underarm or overarm. Scoring in game is the same as in lawn tennis. Singles matches are the best of 7 games. Doubles are the best of 9. Tie breaks can come into operation at 3-3 or 4-4. And grunting is expressly forbidden.
What? I can't get my Serena on?
Nah. Fuck that noise.
That might be because the game's greatest strongholds are in Japan and Taiwan, but its appeal is spreading among people who have tired of serve and volley big gun tennis. Due to its popularity in Asia, soft tennis has been an official sport at the Asian Games since 1994.
Yeah, interesting. That is a fun fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
And one last thing about the balls. Balls should be made of rubber filled with air and be diameter. The International Soft Tennis Federation stipulates that the balls should be white in principle, but in practice, they are often yellow and sometimes red.
Tim is so immature.
Ask me about the mic. Never mind.
Ask me about my squishy balls.
Oh boy! If you're not watching the video, this man over here doing gestures. Right. Okay. I heard you already told the folks that they need to be listening, tapping in with us when we go live. I was sitting here trying to share it on all my socials to get people up in here. So appreciate you taking that on while we were going through some technical difficulties, no pun intended. Game that needs a name. Now, if you are new here, the game that needs a name is the actual name of a game we play every week.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't really need a name. That is the name. The game that needs a name.
I fuck with the name.
Right. That's why we ended up keeping it, because we didn't have a name for it. Anyway, y'all get the idea.
You get that.
We pick a topic and then we go around and see who can be the last person standing. You get about 5 seconds or so to answer or to say something related to the topic. Rapid fire. We go around and round and round. No repeats. Last person standing wins. Any suggestions for this week's topic for the game that needs in the name?
We could do All Stars, NBA All Stars.
Yeah. I mean, we could. That's fine. I was trying to think something black.
Come on, fact check it.
I mean, most black.
What'd you say, E?
I said, who's gonna fact check it? The All Stars, like
your brain.
But shit, you probably know. You know.
No, that's probably too hard.
So what y'all saying? Well, whatever. I mean, I'm fine with that. But black things. What we do last week? Comedians.
Yep. And then before that, we did musicians.
We didn't do sitcoms yet.
We haven't done black sitcoms?
I don't think we did yet, did we?
I don't recall doing.
So
I mean,
sitcoms with a black lead. Let's call it that.
Holy shit!
Oh wait, that reframed.
No,
my
that
whole
made me a
mind.
little tough. I'm like, wait a minute.
So black sitcoms would still fall into that bucket because
They
would be led.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like then we
what
get into an issue of like, how do you define a black sitcom? Like, is the Cosby Show a black sitcom, or is it like a regular
Yes.
sitcom with black people?
Because it changes.
No,
the,
it's a
like
black
situational. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Some people in America might be mad at that, but like if it's a black cast, it's a black sitcom. It's sorry.
I agree with your mama.
Right. Do we want to go in tech order since it's just us three? So
Sure.
then Tim, Eric, then me, and then we keep bouncing.
I think I have
For
a
sure.
lag, but yeah, we can go.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6.
Not that bad.
That's not bad. That's
That's
like
not bad.
a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tim.
Girlfriends.
One-on-one.
Oh damn.
Martin.
Half and half.
Fresh Prince.
Eve.
All of us.
Cosby Show.
Different world.
Living single.
Different Strokes.
Jamie Foxx show.
Does Living Color count?
It's not a sitcom. That's his. It's not a sitcom.
Sketch Calendar.
Damn. Famous Jet Jackson.
Is that a sitcom?
I feel like it's a sitcom.
Did somebody say Living
I said
Single?
Living Color. I said Living. No, it's Living Single.
He said it.
Okay, well, I'm out there.
Oh, I was gonna end with the Wayans brothers. So it's 2 in a row for me.
I feel like we should fact check this Living Color.
It's a sketch comedy. It's like in line with like.
Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. Famous Jet Jackson. 'Cause I don't feel like it was a continuous story. I feel like he changed who he's saving every other day.
Let's see if what they call it a sitcom. 3 seasons. Famous Jet Jackson. Genre: action, adventure, comedy, drama.
There you
A
go.
comedy
No
based
sitting there
story.
at all.
No sitcom. Coming of age.
Cousin
television.
Skeeter would have been better.
Yep.
I used to fuck Skeeter, dude. Will Bellamy had his little
I
run,
hated
bro.
Cousin Skeeter.
I didn't like that show either.
I loved Cousin Skeeter.
I did
But I
not.
fucked with Bill Bellamy too, though.
I did too, but I would rather watch How to Be a Player. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to watch Cousin Skeeter, and I was like 8. Like I'm about to watch.
And
that.
Megan Good was on that mug. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hated her character, and then like puberty happened. I'm like, okay, I'm in now. I'm tapped in.
I'm back. Where that girl come from again?
All right, let's get to the sports topics that we have. We only got a couple things, really. I mean, the NFL season has ended. We are at All-Star break. We don't have any NBA games until Thursday.
Baseball is in spring training or about to start, so they ain't
I
really
was
shit
actually
shaking.
shocked they were starting. I said, "Oh, it is that time of the year."
Mm-hmm.
So we got what we got. We gonna get through it. I mean, shoot, we never stopped during the pandemic, and they want no sports. So we.
That's true.
Do y'all ever reflect on that?
All the time. All the time. I even like when I be telling people about our show. Every now and then I be like, dude, like we've been doing this so long. We was going through the pandemic. How'd you do that? Figured it out.
We were sitting there like, what are we going to talk about? There is nothing, like just updates on the sport world. Like maybe games are coming back.
We heard they might be starting back soon. Till then, did you watch this doc?
Thank you, Michael Jordan and
Hell yeah.
ESPN for The Last Dance. That saved us during the pandemic.
At least 5 weeks worth.
I guess
5 weeks worth of content. Pre-recorded joints
a
too.
whole month.
All right.
That was the bridge to the bubble.
Right. And that bubble was wild. One thing I'll say that we're going to ready to talk about, like our NBA check-in, things that have stood up to us over the last week. One thing that's cool about having this show, and that we've been doing it since 2017 now at this point, it's like having a live sports diary, and I can always just go back and see how I felt in real time about something.
That's true.
Which is
I never considered it.
kind of a blessing in the first. Like I'll literally like look up something that happened, find the date, and find the show that corresponds to it, and be like, "Oh, that's how we felt about it at that time." Which
Oh, that sounds like a fun exercise.
it's
Yeah,
fun
when the
sometimes.
Nets Yeah, I was gonna say when the Nets blew up, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I called this. So then I had to go back and
Go back and be like, yeah, I did. I said that. I knew.
where I get into trouble is like, did I say it in the group chat or did I actually say it out loud?
Oh wow, yeah, that's the other part.
Yeah.
So, Tim, why don't you kick us off with your one thing that has stood out to you in the NBA world over the last week?
So just one thing that got me tripping. I feel like these folks out here that are complaining, the media heads, the old folk, the superstars, whoever you want to, the legends, complaining about where the, you know what? Let me take that back. The All-Star game itself happened this past weekend.
There you go. Bring them in the right way, Tim. There you go. Don't start in the middle. Start at the beginning.
And with the All-Star weekend, of course, there came a lot of complaints about a lot of shit. But the game, Team Giannis won. They beat Team LeBron. I think it was like 184 to 176 or some shit. Couple things from the game. One, I am now on, I've been there a little bit, but I'm really on board now with y'all wasting our fucking time out here bullshitting, not playing in this All-Star game. So there was a comment that was made that actually put something in perspective. Now, granted, they didn't bring this particular workout up, but Stephen A was talking about the effort of the game. And he brought up, you guys work harder in practice, right? What made me, I didn't go to the practices. What I went to was the entire fucking spectacles they like to put on for the pro-ams. Preseason, y'all putting on, selling out gyms, putting in hard-working games against nobodies. Y'all out here cooking niggas. Nobodies. I got 44, 10, and 12. Man, that was a hell of a game. They almost lost to these dudes who only played D1. But against an All-Star game, y'all don't want to do shit. That's not fair to the fans. You can give the fans a spectacle in the offseason. You can give the fans a spectacle in the preseason. You can give the fans a spectacle in the layup line. But when it comes to the actual All-Star game, y'all want to pull back and chill. I don't want it. I ain't got it. I don't want to get hurt. You motherfuckers could get hurt in these games that y'all playing over the summer against nobody. So I don't when I heard that, I was like, I went to the pro-ams. I was like, you know what? There's a point to be made there. Y'all not getting paid for the pro-ams. You still can get the high risk of injury during these pro-am games against the nobodies. So using that as an excuse now is null and void. You do a lot of the excuses that's been made for players to not play the All-Star. I'm saving myself for the rest of the season. You should have saved yourself for the preseason. You should have saved yourself for the regular team. Y'all still pulling hamstrings, ACLs, and shit like that in the offseason too, because y'all working out hard as shit to get in shape to come to camp in shape. You work harder than you do for the game that's showing appreciation to you. So I don't like that. I really do wish that they would try. Like at one point they had everybody standing around watching Jaylen Brown versus Jason Tatum. Cool. Understandable, because everybody want to see
probably the best moment of the game.
Right. It was the one-on-one. Everybody, oh shit. But there was literally Bam on the court like this. With arms folded, chilling. There's 10 motherfuckers on the sideline chilling. Ain't y'all supposed to be on the court? 8. Chilling.
Other two was hooping.
So, I go back to my original statement. I wish that they would try harder, because it's not fair to the fans who are flying out to these events or paying money for these hotels or sitting in front of their TVs or ducking their families and shit to come watch the shit. For y'all motherfuckers to step. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had at least 10 wide open layups that he turned around and passed the ball off to somebody else. Go get your bucket, bro. And then got mad that LeBron blocked him. Well, that's your goddamn fault. You could have been had points. Don't get mad because LeBron blocked you once. I got something for that. You should have been had 20. You wouldn't have cared about that too. You wouldn't have. But you cared about the 2 because you only had 7. Because you passed the other 7 wide open.
Sometimes you sound like Bernie Mac to me. And I
fuck him. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't got nothing else to say to you. You motherfuckers need to come out here and play your game. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
I don't know if that's even the counter. I feel like people who go to All-Star Weekend now, first of all, it's not like normal fans are priced to go to the game to watch this. It's people who got the bankroll to be able to go to the game. And really, they're going for the experience more so than the game. You're really going to All-Star Weekend because, for the most part, you want to get the after set. You want to just be in the scene. There's people around. You just kind of want to be in that. And yes, this year's All-Star game lacked a lot of excitement. Last year's game, if I remember correctly, also lacked excitement. It was over early because when it got to the fourth quarter and the Elam ending, it didn't matter too much. The lead was too big. But first year of the Elam ending, the game was close throughout. So when the fourth quarter came, it really got to it. If this game was closer when the fourth came, I think they probably would have gotten a little bit more serious about it, but it never got close. So by that point, they were kind of like, man, whatever. We just trying to get out of here healthy. And to your point about the pro-ams and stuff, even when they just do practices in gyms in the summer, like they going hard, but I guess one could argue that's in the summertime. This is in the middle of the season. Like me getting hurt at All-Star is a bigger detriment to my team than me getting hurt in the summer where I have a little bit more time to recover. Like when we come back from All-Star break, you got 25 games max left to go. And it's time to get ready for that playoff push. They really trying to get where they got to get to because the conversation around the NBA has changed from just admiring great players to if you ain't got a ring, your career was nothing. So it's kind of hard to blame players for changing how they approach things when their whole career is judged by if they have a ring or not. Once we lost the dang, I can't find the right word. I know the word and I can't think of the what?
Perspective
ain't it, but it works in the situation. The nuance. We lost a lot of nuance in our basketball debates and conversations. And once we lost that nuance, that's the word I was looking for, things changed. Like, think about how Barkley was perceived in the 90s when he was actually playing. And I say him because his birthday just passed. I just watched a Barkley clip. When he was hooping, 6'5", power forward, cold. You can't tell nobody who watched Barkley actually hoop that man wasn't special. But you ask people now about Barkley's career, and I'm like, he never won nothing.
There's a lot of people that never won nothing. Come on now, bro.
So, like, I definitely get your point, but it feels to me like we're in a. I don't know how everybody can get what they want because of how we frame success in the NBA now.
Yeah, Camille, you took the words right out of my mouth. Those were the exact talking points I had. The only thing I'll add is that also it's more money at stake now. Like,
a lot more.
These dudes make a lot of money, and if you get hurt in a game that quote unquote doesn't mean anything, like you can cost yourself a whole lot of money. So, like, I get why it's like it's the middle of the season. Like, actually, that's the reason why like load management is a thing, because like the more stress and fatigue you put on your body, the more susceptible you are to injury. So, like, yeah, in the off season, you're a bit more recuperated, and also you have time to kind of fuck around. If like you sprain an ankle, you can just take a week off. You sprain an ankle now, that's a week of games that you miss. You know what I mean? Like in the stretch run when your team is trying to, you know, jockey for playoff positioning or whatever. So I understand why they would want to look at it in the middle of the season and be like, hey, you know what? Let's just take it easy. This don't help my team at all. And to Camille's point, it's like I'm judged on a championship. So if I put myself at if I put my team at a disadvantage by getting hurt, then we might not win a title. So it's the long view of the season, careers, whatever, that people are more likely to be like, you know what, cost benefit analysis, I'm not going to go hard. Like they had Luka mic'd up at some point in the first half, and every time somebody came near him, he's like, okay, let's not get hurt. It's like, yeah, that's why nobody's playing defense. So everybody's like, hey, I don't want anybody landing on my foot, turn an ankle. I don't want to like run into anybody, crack a rib. Like Giannis just got hurt, like running into the stanchion. You know what I mean? Like, so, and think about how many stars either came in hobbled or just straight up missed the game. Like Joel Embiid was like, hey, they've been telling me to rest my foot for a month. Giannis played a possession and came out. LeBron hit his hand, came out. Steph not there. KD not there. Zion not there. AD didn't make the team because he got hurt. Like people are way more apt to err on the side of caution at this point, and I get it. It sucks for the entertainment factor, but this is what sports media debate show like. Stephen A. Smith talking about LeBron winning the
Oh, you Mr. Roboto right now, fam.
ruined.
Come on,
I'll
arigato.
to-
Come on, Come on, Scratching and mixing, my nigga. No, you done froze now. I like your smile though. Pause. I hear what y'all saying.
And it's a no win.
Okay.
Like,
He trying.
hold on, let's text it.
He trying. He trying to fight through it, bro. Don't hold my man's back. Let him loose. Let him live. So, okay, so I guess while we try to figure out Eric, here's my question then, because they're gonna add a mid-season tournament. That's coming.
Mhm.
How do they approach that then?
They're gonna have to make some kind of incentive with it somehow, some way, some shape, some form. I saw The Athletic had an article where they were polling players at All-Star Weekend about certain things,
Mhm.
and one thing they did ask about was like, how do you feel about the mid-season tournament? The foreign players, the international players, kind of like, well, like we used to that. So Eric got to mute something. But they were asking them like how they felt about it.
Mhm.
And the international players were like, we're used to stuff like that. Like, we have mid-season tournaments and a lot of different things. So, like, cool, bring it on. That's cool. And other players were like, I need to see exactly what y'all talking about, because right now I don't know. I don't know. So they have to figure out a way to incentivize it or make those games count towards the 82. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but that ain't my job to figure out.
Well, which leads me to actually number 2, part 2 of my All-Star Weekend rant. There was a lot of complaints because it was in Utah. Lots of complaints with that it was in Utah, to the point where they was on air broadcasting talking Charles Barkley, speaking of the devil, all these people going to heaven.
That was funny.
You can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't do nothing here. But go to hell. All these people is going to heaven. Shaq come up, that's the most room service he ever ordered in his life, and things of that nature. I'll go to another fairness argument. There are 30 teams in the NBA, right?
Mhm.
Why can't at least so here's my argument. If there's 30 teams in the NBA, that means there's 30 teams putting money in the NBA's pocket. There's 30 cities putting money in the NBA's pocket.
Well, some cities have 2 teams.
Okay. You still have every team that has a city.
There's 30 teams
Right.
putting money in the pocket.
Every city with a team, I feel, would be fair to host an All-Star game at some point, because of the fact that the revenue that they're bringing in already. I'm sure that the cities wouldn't mind having some of that revenue come back to them. And even though they're fulfilling the publicly funded stadiums thing, which is why they had Utah, which is why they got Indiana, which is why they probably will end up with Milwaukee in probably 2026. Probably not 25, because I think Vegas is trying to get 25.
They ain't got no team in Vegas. How they go with the All-Star?
Then they had an All-Star game there before.
Not to my knowledge that the men have been. I think they only go to NBA markets.
They may get one.
I know I saw LA put in a bid
Or
for
LA. It
2025.
was LA.
Yeah.
Not Vegas.
Not Vegas. Yeah.
But I feel like that if you have an NBA team, it's not too much to ask to at one point in time or another to host the NBA All-Star game. With the amount of people that you have, the fans there, their superstars probably there. And if it's not C'est La Vie, eventually they'll get somebody there. But why not give the other teams in other places a chance? Y'all complain about it all you want to, shit, this, that, and the third. But people in Milwaukee are excited with the prospect of having an All-Star game here. People in Indiana, I'm sure, are excited with the prospect of the All-Star game coming there next year. I'm sure Utah was excited this year that the NBA All-Star game was there. It's only fair to me if the NBA or that city is putting money into the NBA's pocket and houses a team that the NBA should be willing to give them an All-Star game.
I feel that.
So all of those players that were complaining, or all of the legends, or all of the media folk, even they every year when they complaining about where he got to go for the fucking playoffs, don't matter, bro. They good enough to get there. Get your ass there. I feel like that's really was my big bug all weekend. So I'm like, yeah, old heads gonna talk shit. People gonna do this, that, but don't shit on the city because of the fact that you don't want to be there. It's fair enough for them to get that city. They put the bid in. They put the millions and billions of dollars, probably publicly funded. So 70% of that stadium was funded by the public anyways, who still turn around and put money in the NBA's pocket.
That's fair.
Other than that, yeah, it was all right.
Eric, I'm going to throw it to you. in a second, but just to wrap up Tim's points, Team Giannis defeated Team LeBron 184-175. Jason Tatum was named MVP. He had 55 points, set a new All-Star record for points in the game. Tatum is now the first player in NBA history to have a 50-point game in a regular season game, a playoff game, and an All-Star game. And if you wanted to add a little razzle-dazzle in there, he also had one in the play-in tournament game. So he's done it everywhere, folks. Pause. The Milwaukee Bucks, as we mentioned, have submitted a bid to host either the 2025 or 26 All-Star game at Fiserv Forum. We opened that arena back in 2018. Would have thought we got it sooner, but no, hasn't happened. I really do hope we get the game, because let me tell y'all something. If Milwaukee get an All-Star game, oh my goodness, this city is it's gonna be people saying, I ain't know how many black people live in Milwaukee. We're gonna be like, we've been trying to tell it's a city in America. Yes, black people live here. Come on now.
I said I'm trying to position us to get in the building somewhere, some shape, form, fashion, somehow.
I don't know if I would want to be there to work. I don't want to be there to be turned.
Ouch. Think I ain't when I is?
I mean, if you got a music convention, you can't be turned. Tell me. Eric, go ahead with your go ahead.
Who is this nigga? Me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Y'all can hear me?
Sir.
Yep.
Okay. Shit, I'm trying to do like audio on one thing, so now I'm hearing my own
voice.
There you go. Hold on, let me. All right, am I straight?
You straight?
Good. No. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I was cooking. Like when I was getting to my point.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You
about it again.
They don't want you to be great.
Stephen A. pulled the plug because I was definitely about to go in on him. I was saying he was talking about how LeBron had ruined the dunk contest. Stephen A. ruined sports discussions, sports media, sports debate. Like everything has to be adversarial now. Everything has to be like an off the wall take. Everything has to be like all or nothing. It's like it can't like Camille said. There's no nuance anymore. There's no like, okay, I made this theory, but part of what you say, I get where you're going. I get the logic of it. Like it's all like, this is the worst thing ever. This is the best thing ever. This person is way better than this person or whatever. It's just like, yeah, you turn that conversation. Like nobody wants to be embarrassed anymore. Nobody wants to have people talk shit because they tried and they failed. Like, so just like, fuck it, why try? Like, or, take the long view and be like, okay, if nothing else matters but a championship, then fuck it. Nothing else matters but a championship. Like, this is what the sports media landscape has brought. Like, this is chicken something coming on the roost, whatever you want to call it. Like this is where we are as a not a society, but like a society of sports fans. This is where we're at now.
Sports community.
Yeah. So that brings up a larger point. My one thing. Niggas hate
Stephen A. on your ass.
Whole goddamn weekend. Every aspect. Like, what happened?
You started roboting again.
But then you came back. But
you came back.
Tim was saying Stephen A. on
your ass.
He ain't letting you say nothing this week.
Anyway, I was saying that old niggas was hating like the whole weekend. Like to Tim's point, like people were hating on Salt Lake City. People were hating on, players in the game. People were hating on the dunk contest. People were hating on the 3-point. Like, just hate. Like that's another thing that I don't like about NBA media is like it's so detrimental to the product. Like if you look at the NFL and like how ESPN specifically covers the NFL, like it's always positive to the point where it's like y'all fucking cheerleaders. But that gets people excited about watching the games. That gets people excited about the players. So, like, if all people hear is you talking about, well, this player who's the greatest player playing now isn't as great that retired 30 years ago, like, the fans are going to take what you say and look at it and be like, yeah, no, he's not Jordan. No, he's not, Kareem. No, he's not Magic Johnson. It's like, you don't even have, one, you shouldn't be comparing them in the first place, but two, like, even if you are, it should always be like, this is the next evolution. He's different, but this is why he's great. You know what I mean? Like, but if all they hear is the dunk contest sucks, nobody wants to do it anymore, or somebody goes and tries and it's like, oh, well, he ain't do it as good as this person did it 25 years ago, this is where the conversation gonna be. It's like I hear Draymond, so it's not just old niggas. It's people in the league now. I hear Draymond during the skills competition or a 3-point competition or a dunk contest, like, oh, that's weak, that's this, that's that, blah blah blah. Like, who is this for besides yourself? Like, who's this benefiting? It's not benefiting the people at home. It's not benefiting the players on the court. You just hating for no reason. Kenny Smith, like, oh, I don't know, they ain't that's a 49, it's not a 50 in my book. What we doing here?
What made him lose 1 point? What made him 1-0?
Because you just didn't want to give him props. Like, I get it, like, show me what you got, but don't be talking about like, oh no, that's weak, or he can't possibly do whatever. It's like, can y'all stop being hate? Like, Shaq is infamous for it. Like, all he do is hate on new big men. He's so it comes off as insecurity, because like anytime he's threatened as the most dominant big man, you gotta talk shit about the people to bring him down, or like that's his way of motivating people. It's like, yeah, maybe that motivates you, but again, like that's a conversation that you have privately, or you have in like a closed environment where it doesn't get out into the public and like affect the way people look at it. Like, he ruined JaVale McGee's career for a large part of the time because all he did was like joke on him, or Dwight Howard's like, you're not as good as me, and like everybody takes that to heart. Like, yeah, he probably ain't. But at the same time, it's like he's a new star that's trying to push the league forward, and you like got your thumb on him hating.
He's still on his ass.
Still, like, apparently he said something during the podcast.
He did, because he said something about that his team had just lost in Taiwan. He's like, how he losing in Taiwan? He said, how are you keeping up on the?
You spending more time watching Taiwan than you actually
That's what
believe.
they said. They said you spending more time watching that than you do the NBA. And he was
because he's a hater.
Shaq the fool.
I love Barkley's drunk on Sunday.
You said Barkley was
Or
drunk?
at least he seemed drunk. I mean, it's his birthday, I'll give him a pass, but at the same time, it's like, bro,
He's trying to be like Tim when he get the media pass, fam. That's what we talking
Bro,
about.
we was chilling. What you talking about? Don't really mean with him, bro. I be chilling.
You just said.
Listen, I said I was gonna be there. And I'm be happy, enjoying myself.
this is only tangentially related, but Jalen Rose talking about $100 is the appropriate price for a haircut. Bro, you are out of touch. Like,
no, he's probably. I need $100. You ain't gonna be cutting nobody.
Niggas already whacking. Like, that is not the growing rate.
20.
Like,
I know you can still get lined up and everything. How much did it cost for you to get a lineup?
25.
Damn.
Just the
25
lineup?
for a line and a taper.
Damn.
I think the line is 20, and then if I add a taper, it's 25.
25 with a $5 tip. I gotta get paid 30 for my cut. The whole thing. God damn. It used to be $10 for a line. That's just that it. Give me a little 25. That's a whole cut.
I think my husband paid 35.
That should include the face, the eyebrows. What a hot towel at. Right up, like, God damn.
Yeah, I don't know when we started tipping for haircuts. That's something that just started happening in the last couple years. Like, it wasn't always like the tip was baked into the price before. Like, that was like, hey, my man, hey, what's my tip? Like, I'm gonna pay it because you're doing work, but it's like,
but damn, ain't that what I'm here for? I ain't got it, man. You said cut in line in the 25. You asked for 5 more.
As a black woman who has been to beauty shops since I was 13, so at 20 years of beauty shops. Welcome, first off, to the pain of these inflated prices. That is why I currently love going where I go to get my hair retwisted and done, because my beautician is not one that says you better come with your hair already washed and dried, which I've had those experiences in the past. She does it all. It's a full service shop, and I do not mind paying her what she asks for and giving her that tip, because it is still cheaper than what some of these other quote unquote beauticians be out here charging for the gram.
I asked my daughter's stylist on Saturday. Took her there. I was like, listen. I was like, her mama didn't tell me the last minute to take her hair down. So I took her hair down and we got done at like midnight, 12:30. But I ain't wash her hair though. You want to know that I gotta wash her hair too? I was like, I borrow your sink. She was like, no, I'll wash her hair. I don't know if I know these new people, they be wanting you to come pre-washed, all your shit down, kind of half pressed,
slow dried out already.
All of that, just that way you can put a comb through it.
That'll be $50, please.
Right.
She's like, no, I do all of that. Okay, cool. I'm leaving it. I'm out.
Yeah, I took my daughter to the beautician one time. Like that, I don't even know. Like, there's systems going on that I'm not even like. I'm like, I don't know what's going. It's just chaos. But apparently, like there's a thing going on that I'm not privy to. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like
how one person working on 6
here, one client over here. She's like, I'm gonna get you in a second. And this person come in, and then they talk about this and that. Like, it's just a whole lot of everything going on. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on right now.
I wish my barber would be cutting 3 heads at one time.
It's been times when they'll start your head, they'll wash you, and they put you under the dry, and they start someone else's head, and then your hair be dry, and they still working on something. You be like, hey, I've been under this dryer for about an hour now. I know my hair is ready to continue on.
You need another hour.
No, girl, you can just keep sitting here.
Your shit crunchy under there now. Like, dang,
now I got heat damage because I've been sitting here all
this
this
sounded
time.
like a bag of potato chips.
Right. Where's the moisture at? Eric, did you have anything else in regards to the old niggas hating that All-Star Weekend that you wanted to get off your chest?
This is gonna be hating for a second, but like, why is Carl on that All-Star Weekend?
You said what now?
Like, why? I said it's not be hate, but why is Carl Malone at All-Star Weekend? Like, I know why he's there because it's in Utah, but like, why are we as the NBA community,
I got keep rolling.
Why are we as the NBA community still accepting Karl Malone's presence at anything?
Like,
we've gone,
He said, "Fuck y'all."
Karl Malone said, "Like, I don't care what y'all
talking about. My life, I live this shit."
And he was hating at the dunk contest. Like, every round, like every dunk, he had the lowest score for everybody.
You know why I'm here? No, we don't. Please explain.
Never, I ain't even gonna go there. But yeah.
To your Karl Malone point, when I saw the NBA said they was gonna honor LeBron again, I said this man has had 2 celebrations already for him breaking the all-time scoring record, and I get that it's a milestone. But NBA, y'all didn't have to do something at All-Star Weekend, and I know why y'all did it. It's because you were able to have Karl Malone, Kareem, and LeBron, the top 3 scorers in NBA history, all together. But you didn't have to do it. We had already honored the man. There's no reason that y'all have to bring Karl Malone out and parade him around like he's some ambassador for the sport. You don't want him being an ambassador for nothing that y'all got going on. The man impregnated a 13-year-old when he was 20.
I don't give a fuck.
He had twins, didn't care about him. Like, he also, I saw, because people were bringing this stuff up, he also disrespected Vanessa Bryant, which I forgot completely.
Yep, chasing little Mexican girls.
Yep. He was wearing hunting gear at a game, and she said, "Oh, like, what are you hunting?" He said, "Little Mexican girl." He looked at her. And then later on, apparently, he hit on her when they were on the phone by themselves. It was her first time talking to him without anyone else around, and he was sitting there being sexually suggestive to her. Like, "I know you like me." She's like, as my friend's husband, sure. He's like, "No, you know what I'm talking about." Like, dude's creep. Creep.
And they poke Kareem. They keep dragging his ass out to celebrate LeBron.
One thing,
oh my God, dang, bro! I know you don't want to be out here keep celebrating this shit.
No, Kareem actually is cool with it. He said something that I was like, "That's the way you got to think about it." One, he said what we've been saying, which is like, my basketball legacy, I don't care as much about as my social legacy. Like, the last 20 years has been all about how I can improve the world. That's what's most important. But 2, he was like, Magic made a comment saying, like, I know he don't want LeBron breaking his record in the same uniform that he was in. And Kareem was like, maybe if it was like 10 years after I broke it, I probably would have felt that way. But like, it's been a very long time that I've held this record. He was like, and if I won $1 billion 30 years ago and then somebody win $2 billion now, I still won. Like, that does not affect the check that I had got. So he said that, you know, LeBron has mentioned that we don't have a relationship, and he's right, we didn't. But I also figured he wouldn't want to hang around with somebody who's 2 times, like, double his age. But that's on me. We're working on having a better relationship. I'm happy for him. I'm really proud of him. I'm happy he broke the record. That's what records are to be broken. I'm glad that mine stood for as long as it did, but now it's going to be a whole nother generation of people getting inspired by this new record that was broken. It's going to keep being that way.
I don't know if this one will be broken.
And I mean, like, if you look at it though, like in totality, like, honestly, it's better that it was broken while he was living, because like now people have a greater appreciation for what he's done, and he's there to be able to see people be like, man, you know, Kareem set this record that stood for 30 some odd years. Look how great he was. Look back at his career. Look at what he's done for basketball, like in his life, and he gets to hear these things. Like you know, like too often things don't happen until people pass away, and then they get their flowers and they get their appreciation. Like, he's here to hear it. Like, it doesn't take anything away from what he accomplished in his basketball career that LeBron has now surpassed it. It just, like, people have seen LeBron, people have experienced LeBron. They see, like, what LeBron had to do for 20 years to get to this point, and it puts it in perspective. It's like, damn, Kareem did that 30 years ago.
39. That's when he broke the record. I double checked. 1984 is 39 years ago. That record stood for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
And LeBron, each year he plays, just extended it.
He's going to push it to 40.
But then you got people like Shaq who, you know, are insecure about their position in history, and then they got to shit on everybody that comes after him.
Shaq only loved Giannis. That's the only player I've seen him be like,
Giannis is the greatest.
He can be Superman.
He can be Superman.
I don't mind that.
And that's only because he wants to think that he would have been Giannis if he'd been given the freedom to do what Giannis does. It's like,
Shaq could dribble a little bit when he was, you know. all I think about is him and Mike playing that little one-on-one game.
Oh, when he was still on the Magic, when he was young and
agile. And that's what he could dribble a little bit then.
Lakers Shaq would not. Lakers Shaq was like 350. Lakers Shaq.
Shaq just wanted to push you on the Lakers. He just wanted to get your move.
We can move on, but if you haven't seen Shaq's biography, like his docuseries on HBO, it's actually really, really good. And he was mentioning that, like, when he got to be like, you know, I got the Lakers, I just wanted to put all this weight on, because like, who can really stop me? I started realizing, like, the bigger I am, the harder it is to stop me. And it cut to like Rick Fox or some other teammate, and they was like, nah, he was just out of shape. And the fact they kept it in the documentary, I was like, I like this. Yes. Keep it in here. Like, he was out of shape.
I got one last thing on All-Star, and it's not about hating at all. I just want to give appreciation to Janelle Monáe and Tim's and the whole Black African Afrobeats halftime show. Because first of all, it's high comedy having an Afrobeats halftime show in Salt Lake City, all this. I'm sorry. I know what Tim just said about not hating on the Asians, but that was pitch perfect.
Hold on,
am I robotic again?
Yo, you're breaking up, so I'm gonna just repeat real quick. I know what you were saying. Shout out to Janelle Monáe. Shout out to Tim because the yams was yamming. Shout out to everybody at the halftime show because Afro Beats in Utah, like you text us, is hilarious to think about. They doing the Afro Beat show in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. Got the Afro Beat show. That audience was sitting there like, what is going on?
Man, except for the African players.
Oh, vibing, bro. Out there like,
fuck, this is my shit. Hey, I was vibing too. Like, that's my shit too,
man. As soon as I heard Burna Boy do that, I was like,
I fuck with Burna Boy.
I didn't know he was like Jay Crowder until I saw him. I don't do like Jay Crowder. That's crazy.
First time I heard that song was at the end of one of the BET Award shows, because he was walking out and he was just performing at the end, like he on his way out. We had the after party and he was performing, on the way into that. Me and Sam was like, this shit bang, bro. Who is this? After that, we've been in Burna Boy phase. But no, Afrobeats is I've been
the woman who sang the Canadian national anthem too, I think it was.
Yes.
Was it July Black? I think her name was.
So
made a comment because they the commentator couldn't even announce her properly because he was too caught up in the yams. He was like, not the for okay.
He was looking at that script and looked up like God. He was moving with the ass.
So to wrap up the All-Star discussions, DK Metcalf, he won the All-Star Celebrity MVP Award. That game was actually really fun. Team Paul won the Jordan Rising Stars game. Jose Alvarado was the MVP. Team Jazz won the skills competition. Damian Lillard won the 3-point contest, and Mac McClung won the dunk contest. And I would like to sum up my thoughts on how I felt about All-Star Saturday night with what I said about All-Star Saturday night last year, because the conversation around it is very, very irritating. So I'm just gonna. You ain't gotta. I don't need to auction. I'm just play. This is me. Back in February 23rd, 2022. Or that's 2022. Wait, yeah,
Yes.
that's right. That's right. Year.
Damn, 2 days. You only off 2 days.
Right. So here we go.
I don't think All-Star Saturday Night is as bad as Eric was saying. I don't necessarily think it was as good as you were saying.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it was amazing.
Okay, because you
No, because the dunk contest takes it all the way down to at least a 50%. Like, that shit was god awful, bro. I didn't know. No, fuck that.
My thing with that is when it comes to the All-Star weekend, and just in general, like the NFL Pro Bowl is trash. We all know it's trash.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the NBA All-Star weekend can be hit or miss. Some weeks some years you're gonna get a really exciting Saturday night. And I always feel like the talk about the dunk contest is a little overblown because that's how the dunk contest has always worked. Like there's always like a really great year the dunk contest, and everybody, oh, the dunk contest back, we back, baby, we back, we out here. And then like the next 3 or 4 be trash, and then it's like, oh, dunk contest, they should get rid of the dunk contest, and we need to make changes to the dunk contest. And then somebody who can dunk come back, and then it's like, oh, the dunk contest back. It's like a cycle of how people react to the dunk contest. That doesn't, like, this year's was bad. It was a bad dunk contest. But.
And guess what, folks? This year's was great. No, I wouldn't say great. Mac McClung did his thing. Mac McClung did his thing this year, but the general principle remains because now people are saying Mac McClung saved the dunk contest. No, he didn't. It was just he did some good dunks and he got them all on the first try. You can bring the music back in, Dooch. I feel like I'm cutting the promo on something. But
shout out to Trey Murphy because he surprised me. I ain't know. I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game. I ain't know. He a shooter. I ain't know you had bounce like that. He was getting the shit off.
He did some, like it was a good dunk contest. So it's like, don't like people overreact to everything when it comes to All-Star Weekend. Like, oh, the game is so bad. Watch next year, the game gonna be closer. So everybody, oh my god, I love the All-Stars. Look at the players, they're here and they got so much effort. And it's like, it's Giannis went out there this year. Like, you know, when Giannis is on the court for All-Star game, like he gonna come and bring some real game energy to it. So like it depends on the players that are out there for sure. And that's for All-Star Saturday night. Some years it's gonna be good, some years it's gonna be bad. That is what it is. One thing we talked about in the past on this show that I would still agree with is maybe moving the 3-point contest to the very last event of the weekend or Saturday night. Go skills, dunk, then 3-point, because the 3-point contest still has star power in it. If that's what you're trying to bank on, go ahead and do that. But otherwise, like, we cool. Leave the events what they are. If you want to bring in some other guys to dunk against NBA players, cool, whatever. But like the dunk contest ain't dead. It is what it is at this point. Like it's gonna be good years, it's gonna be bad years. We had a good year. Enjoy it.
I only had one gripe with the events, the people that participated in it. Why the fuck was Julius Randle in the 3-point contest again?
Because he was a last minute sub for.
They couldn't find nobody.
They just wanted to grab somebody who was already going to Salt Lake City. Like it was, think about, because when Anthony Simons got hurt, it was like right before the break, and then the NBA wasn't gonna call somebody like, you change your vacation plan to come shoot. We're gonna pick somebody who's already here, who's gonna be willing to do it. And Julius Randle was like, all right. Like that's the only reason he was in it. It wasn't like they really thought he was cold. It was just
surprised the hell out of me with Kevin Huerter though. I mean, boy, you can't hit shit.
Well, he's been shooting. He's been in a slump though. Like I think he's shooting 25% in February from 3.
Damn. It should look like it in the 3-point contest too.
My NBA thing this week, I just wanted to point out the fact that we have already had this NBA season the most buyouts in NBA history post trade deadline. There have been 9 with Will Barton being bought out by the Wizards. We got Will Barton who's out there floating around now. Russell Westbrook who went to the Clippers, which we talking about how discourses are getting gross. The one around Westbrook is also like, I know he's still in LA, but I will say that the Clippers have personnel that better suit how Russ plays than the Lakers did. There's a lot more shooting with the Clippers than it was with that Lakers team. He might not still, he ain't gonna be Oklahoma City Russ no more. That ship has sailed. But there's a world where he can still be a productive player for a team that has some aspirations. As long as he buys into whatever role it is that he has to play for that team.
Well, you ain't finna walk into a number 4 seed right now in the West. I'm him. Like, show ass. Dribble this ball and pass it to our stars. God dang.
He should have a lot more space to operate.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy though.
Patrick Beverly going to Chicago.
Forget, bro. I don't know if this
coming home. I'm coming home.
You know what? I didn't fact check it, so let me not say that.
Okay. There we go.
There was a quote.
That's growth from you.
Yes. So
was it about the Eastern week?
Yes.
No, he said that.
Yeah, he said that.
Forget, bro.
His point was that talent went west, so it's not as many people here. And I was like,
no, you think you can do it with Chicago?
He can make the playoffs.
It's gonna be Minnesota part 2.
It could be. It absolutely.
He gonna take his jersey off and wing around his head, and Petey Pablo will be playing the shit like that. Like, we doing that again?
You might.
In Chicago?
You might.
Hey, look at where they're at in standings right now. If they get into the playoffs, like that might be worthy of that celebration, to be quite honest. One thing I didn't realize about Chicago, and that's kind of why I was hoping, like, for basketball reasons, that was where Russ wound up. Their offense is terrible.
God awful.
Like, they're actually top 10 in defense, but their offense is the problem this year.
They didn't have no point guard.
Nope, they've been having.
Lonzo is out for the season.
They've been
now,
having
too.
Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan trying to run points.
2 shooting guards. that don't really never really work out well.
I had scrolled past like on Bulls. Shout out to Hayes, who actually made the theme song for Tech File.
For sure.
He's on Locked On Bulls now, and he was talking about the fact that people point to Lonzo's absence, which I'll just throw it out there. He's not returning this season. Mm-hmm. They shut him down officially. And he said people, they're always pointing to Lonzo being missing as to why Chicago's having his problems. And it's like, yeah, he played a big part, but he didn't initiate the offense himself when he played. And I was like, I didn't watch that many Bulls games to be like, that's accurate or not accurate, but it was really interesting to me that he pointed out the fact that Lonzo still didn't initiate the offense a lot. Like, they need a point guard to help get them into shape at this moment. He's like, we know what Lonzo brings. Their team is better with Lonzo. I'm not saying they're not, but the role people think that he did not do. And that's not the reason the Bulls are performing the way they're performing in this moment. It's not just Lonzo.
I feel like you said, I haven't watched enough Bulls games, but the impact that he had on the team while he's on the floor as the facilitator still, I think, played a huge role in taking the ball from 2 guys who are not supposed to initiate the offense and then give them to the ball in their spots.
More options.
Yeah, so it's kind of like how the Bucks usually search for another like a secondary playmaker, or most teams. If you're looking for another person who help facilitate or move the ball or move the offense or kind of keep things tidy. Like, you can't give it to a bunch of shooters and be like, yeah, so let's figure it out. Get him the ball in this spot. Get him the ball in this spot. Don't shoot that shit. Give it to him. No, you can't ask that of guys who are wired to shoot. Lonzo can shoot, sure, if he wants to, but he's more so wired to let me set my guys up.
I think Lonzo is more of a connector piece. Like, Lonzo is a guy that takes it from just like ISO to like, we gonna keep this ball movement. I'm gonna make the correct pass as it's swinging. To kind of bend the defense and get people into better spots. So like, you don't have to be a play initiator to help facilitate the motion and the movement of the offense.
Well, Pat Bev ain't gonna help them too much with that when he gets there. So we'll see how that goes. It should be
straight 3-and-D.
Right. Kevin Love, he's going to the Miami Heat, which perfect fit. When I saw they were talking about Russ going there, I was like, let him go there. Shrink the floor even more because they really can't shoot. Go ahead, add Russ too. Go ahead. But when they added Kevin Love, I said, I did the right thing.
I didn't like that.
I did the right thing.
Did not like that one.
Y'all needed some shooting, so that makes.
I didn't realize that he had fallen out of Cleveland's rotation though.
They got nice young bigs and wings now. Like, hey, all right, we'll finally buy you out, bro. We really don't need you no more.
Yeah, he got hurt. Like, he hurt his hand earlier in the season, and like, he's just been shooting poorly. It sounds like he's getting healthier now, but like, while he was shooting poorly, he lost his rotation spot. Then they realized, like, hey, we good.
Exactly. They saw what life was like without him and said, we
actually kind of right.
Yeah, we good. Reggie Jackson, as we know, he went to the Nuggets. Terrence Ross went to the Suns. Danny Green went to the Cavaliers. Justin Holiday went to the Mavericks. Leandro Balmero.
Balmero.
There we go. He just got bought out. But he went over back to Europe. That's why he wanted to get bought out. So that's 9 guys after the post-trade deadline who got bought out. John Wall and Serge Ibaka are also expected to be bought out. So number could go up to 11. A lot of buyouts. Let me ask y'all this. Which buyout signee do you think will have the most impact on their new team?
Oh, I want to say Russ, but at the same time,
I think for good or for bad, Russ is probably the answer. Like, I don't know if it's a good impact or bad impact, but he'll have, first of all, he'll probably get the most minutes, so he'll have the most opportunity to have an impact. Like, I'm in the middle with Russ. Like, we know what his limitations are, but he's still a good basketball player. He's not a max guy anymore, but the Clippers got him on a minimum. So it's like,
and at a minimum, that's a deal.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like Reggie Jackson was number 2 though, with
Really?
Denver, because they got rid of Bones, so he's gonna step in to those minutes anyway. They had, I don't think they got Morris no more because Morris is over in Washington now, right?
mm-hmm.
So they really kind of needed a point guard. Yeah, so I think Reggie, and he excels as coming off the bench or as running the second unit, or he can fill in coming off the bench with the first unit because he can put up the bucket too. So I feel like Reggie Jackson will probably be right behind him.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, he has to find his shot, but he'll have the opportunity. Like, that's why Clippers got rid of him. He's in a season-long shooting slump.
But you ain't got to facilitate. You got Joker now, so you ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. And then we talked about Pat Bev. Like, he could actually take the playoffs to the Bulls. He can take the Bulls, help them get to the play-in game, help them get to the playoffs. So if they can do that after the season that they've had, that's a success for them, I think. Unless you're looking at draft stuff, but then also they kind of need to fall off like the top 4 for them to keep their pick anyway. So they don't want to.
No, they don't want to be too bad.
Oh, we have to be in the top 4 to keep their pick. Oh, well, in that case,
top 4 protected.
Maybe you want.
No, you want Pat Bev, then you go ahead and let him run the point. Let him run everything.
They're gonna lose that point.
Facilitate like a motherfucker, Pat.
They're gonna lose that draft pick. And then Kevin Love, we talked about this, but I think he's another impact signing so far. I don't know how much Danny Green got left in his legs, but if he got something, it'll be interesting watching him play with Cleveland, because they need a shooter on the wing. So yeah, that's what I have for my NBA one thing this week. But some more NBA news as we keep it rolling. We don't have that much left to talk about here, guys. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he suffered a sprained ligament in his right wrist, as we mentioned, and he will undergo treatment with the expectation that he'll be able to return to the lineup once the pain subsides. Bucks Twitter lost their GD minds as soon as the report came out that he had to go to New York and get further testing done. I saw a tweet thought the season was over. And
really? They really would?
No, fam. They went off like, it was like, this news is terrible. And then when the news came out that Myers Leonard got signed to a 10-day, they were like, oh, this must be real bad news now.
It's even worse than we expect. They lied to us.
We need games back now. Like, like, people are bored. They don't have anything else to talk about. So it's just, everything is amped up to 1,000,000. It's just like, we need games. We need stuff to take our minds off of all the outlandish shit that their brain is getting up to. Like, the idle mind is the devil's playground. Is that the saying?
Yep.
That's what this whole weekend / the rest of this week is. Like, people just going crazy. Yep. We need games to distract us.
How do y'all feel about the Myers Leonard signing? For those who don't recall him, and when I saw we signed him, I said, that's a name I did not expect to see. And
not in the Bucks uniform.
And not even, no, period. I forgot he existed.
No, I've been hearing rumblings about him trying to come back.
That's what I saw. Like, apparently over like the last year he's been working out, but like my blinders I hadn't even heard his name. So when I saw the book, I said, Myers Leonard. So why is that name so familiar? And I kept reading. And I said, oh yeah, he was playing Call of Duty and started using anti-Semitic slurs. And he said, it's not funny because video game culture is toxic.
Boy,
it's exactly why on my PSN, like, if you're not my friend, you are not gonna message me.
Boy,
because there'd be some stuff.
They be wildin'.
And if you in party chats and the game chat, you hear a lot. Myers Leonard said that the only reason he used that slur is because he didn't know what it meant. He said he just knew how to use it because he heard other people playing video games saying it. And I was like, that's possible. Like, I understand.
It's naive, but
it's ignorant
as fuck.
Super ignorant. You would think that
you got a better excuse than that.
No, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say you would think that the education system would teach you a little bit more so that you would know something like that. But with the way things in this country are going, I guess I shouldn't expect
they
that.
Moving history.
Exactly. So I want to
Like,
be
it
clear.
was-
I'm not giving him a pass for that at all. I'm just giving the backstory with it. He's done work with different Jewish organizations, and as long as that community, however they feel about him, he offended that community.
Yeah, like it was just dumb enough to where it's like, yeah, I guess that's plausible. Because again, like, he's a professional athlete. Like, he wouldn't say the N-word on like it wouldn't have come out. Like if he knew better, he would have done better. So it was just dumb enough so it's like, yeah, that tracks. And the fact that he's been apologetic since it had. And I just want to be clear. I would say this regardless of what team he signed for. Like, I'm not trying to make excuses for it because the Bucks signed him. It's just like when people actually do the work and are apologetic and continue to be apologetic and don't run from what they did, like, we got to start giving people second chances. Like, this isn't an anti-cancel culture rant. This is just like, hey, people mess up and they should be rightly called out for it. But if people want to make amends for what they've done, if they're apologetic, if they do the work, then I don't have any problem giving people second chances. Like, if he fucks up again, like, yeah, check his ass out of here. Like, but you gotta give them an opportunity to fuck up again in the first place. Like, if they've earned it, which I feel like he has. So I don't have a problem with it. Like, from basketball wise, like, it makes sense. He's a big ass dude that can shoot threes, that can give you 6 fouls against Joel Embiid. Like, that's really all you need for an emergency big on the Milwaukee Bucks roster. Like, he's bigger than Sandro, and then the rest of the people that they have are wings. Like, I'm fine with it basketball if he's in shape and if he can play still. But like the Myers Leonard that was in Miami, like, that's a perfect fit for an emergency big as far as I'm concerned.
Facts, and that's the part people got to realize. He's coming on the roster to be an emergency break glass in case of emergency big, which is why Serge Ibaka wanted out, because he did not want to be that. He wanted to get playing time, and he is still at home waiting to get some playing time.
He would have been there, plenty of it.
So, like, the Bucks situation when it comes to the buyout market, we have a friend, and I make jokes like, he want everybody. He's like, I like him on the Bucks. I'm like, the Bucks pretty much have their playoff rotation set. Anybody that they're buying out, it's not for them to come and like play big minutes. They're coming to be Jeff Teague. They are coming to be here just in case someone gets hurt. If we need to get some minutes up, or someone gets into foul trouble, you can throw them in the game and trust that they won't F things up too bad. That's all it is at this point for where the Bucks are, which is, if you think about where the Bucks were 5 years ago, way different situation. Like, that's where this team is. So anybody the Bucks are signing, it's not somebody who's going to be coming in and hopefully playing 20, 25 minutes a night. If that is what's happening, something went wrong. Something went really, really wrong. And to Eric's point about second chances, I agree. I co-sign that 100%. I think about Drew Brees. He made his comments about kneeling in the flag and how it's disrespectful, and then he had conversations with teammates and everything, and he wrote a long apology. And after that, like, he did some more work on it, and he changed. He showed some different actions afterwards. So
I don't disagree. I agree with the second chance as well. I said it in the group chat. Like, I was shocked that we were the ones to sign. So I didn't have an issue with giving him a second chance. I just said I don't always want to be the one to give the second chance. Meaning, if he'd have came back with any other team, I wouldn't have cared. Honestly. Like, yeah, he did some shit. He fucked up. I didn't forget the fact that his teammates was kneeling and he decided he wanted to stand too while I was doing the Black Lives Matter protests and shit like that. I didn't forget that shit either. But outside of that, he ain't really saying nothing about black folks. at least to my knowledge, out loud. And I don't mind giving anyone a second chance, because you are putting in the work. You are showing that you're remorseful. You are showing, like, shit, I've had a second chance. So I don't have an issue with giving anyone a Benny. Outside of this pod, I give hella bennies.
when we're here talking to us, we get no bennies.
No bennies. But literally in life, I give so many, like, there's a lot of, I'm like, bro, they deserve a second chance, second opportunity, another chance.
Right.
But I'm not always the one that wants to give that second chance.
That's real. This could be a whole life, like, this could be a whole pod about just life experience and thinking about second chances and whatnot. But that's real, because sometimes if you don't do the second chances, you're gonna miss out on a lot that you could have had. Because personally, we ain't gotta say no details, but personally, between me and you, when some stuff happened, I was sitting there like, I don't know about the nigga Tim. I don't know about him. I don't know. But if we never got past that moment there would be no technical foul here today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's certain things where it's like, and I wouldn't like. Man,
it'd be completely done.
It'd be a whole different world. I wouldn't have my godson. Like, everything would be so different.
That's like, I'm one for second chance. I've had several different opportunities, different all kind of shit. I don't have an issue with giving him the second chance. But if it works, and at the end of the day, it's only a 10-day contract. You're acting like we signed him for 15 years and shit. It's
not
10 goddamn days.
Right.
Like, we did the same thing with Boogie last year. Granted, we should have kept Boogie. I felt like we should have kept Boogie. But he was hooping with us. He did pretty good with us. But it's only a 10-day. And it's probably because Giannis is hurt. So while Giannis is hurt, he'll be the big to come in and kind of fill the gap in if not Sandro or because Bobby's still hurt too, right?
We don't know when he's coming back, but he should be soon.
So we need another big body. When Giannis come back,
on Friday,
he probably gonna be gone, honestly. So
I think it seems like it's a trial.
Yeah, because he might just end up being that fourth big that stays on the roster once. Because we know
I
Bud's
think
rotation is Bobby and Giannis, and that's really the only big minutes you're gonna get. And they might use Jay as a small ball forward. So like Myers Leonard, if he does stay past the 10-day, which could happen, he probably ain't gonna play too much this.
I'm not really tripping about it in that aspect. Like Eric said, it makes perfectly good sense. Before all the bullshit, I actually like Myers Leonard a lot. Like especially on the Heat, because I think he had a game where he knocked down 10 threes, wasn't it, in the playoffs?
I don't know about that.
It was something. He had a game in the playoffs, I think, with the Heat where he was scorching. And I was like, bro, since when? I'll look it up, but I didn't have an issue with him beforehand, so I don't have a problem giving him a second chance.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the moves that the Bucks need to make with their last two roster spots. I mean, I personally is very situational. It's like, if this happens, do we have somebody that we can go to as the worst case scenario? Like, you get the Sixers second round, Brook Lopez gets 3 fouls in the first quarter. Like, do you have somebody that you can throw out there for 2 minutes that isn't just going to get completely ran over by Joel Embiid? Like,
that's it.
Right now, no, you don't, because you got Giannis and Bobby, and I don't think you want either one of those dudes. Like, Giannis can do it, but you don't want to put him in a position to get in more foul trouble. And Bobby is just going to get ran over just like, Jay or Joe Ingles or Chris or whoever else you're going to throw it. So you want another big body, again, like 6 fouls against Embiid. Also, it's like, if Javon Carter proves to be too small, like, you want to have another vet point guard. You can just throw, like, you want another George Hill, essentially. Like, somebody else you can just throw out there that isn't going to get completely, like, swallowed up by the moment in the playoffs. Again, break glass in case of emergency. Like, your roster is set, your rotation, you probably got too many guys at this point. So you really just need situational players that can come in and give you something if you need to, like, back against the wall. So yeah, like, I'm not shooting for the stars at this point. It's like, hey, if Chris Dunn just signed a 10-day with Utah, it's like, hey, I know he can defend if nothing else. Like, he can't shoot, but he can defend. Like, if I just need to throw out a bigger Javon Carter for a minute, I feel like I'd be hating. Like, I always feel like I'm critical of Javon Carter over here. I like him. He's playing well.
Javon Carter, dog.
I'm fearful of his size in the playoffs. That's all it is.
You see him when he's matched up in, like, against teams like Boston, where it's a lot more size. Like, even though he's a good defender, sometimes you just can't overcome just being little. Like, that's just what it comes down to. So,
who am I thinking of? There was the guard that used to be a dog on defense. I feel like his name started with, it was Tony something. Played for Memphis for a while. Tony Allen. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, we need a Tony Allen. That's what we need.
Every team needs a Tony Allen.
Bigger guard who just go out there and get at your ass. So I feel like that's what we're looking for.
So you wish we had Dylan Brooks?
No. No.
I mean, that's the new man. Whatever.
But he's not a guard. He's a wing.
He defend guards.
Yeah.
He big as hell, ain't he?
I mean, he's big like this, but
he's like 6'7". Well, I guess now that's considered. See, 6'7" used to be just like a 2 guy, like Kobe and Jordan and them and shit like that. They were 6'6", shooting guard. Now I feel like
height is not indicative of position.
I said, now I feel like it don't matter no more.
No, height's not indicative of position. It's your skill set.
He'll wing, like wing guard, like wings can defend guard, or at least they should be able to.
They should. Sometimes that height is too much. Your feet too damn big. Your legs too long. Can't get them together.
We'll see. We'll see. Some other transaction news, though, that has happened. The Atlanta Hawks dismissed Coach Nate McMillan. We knew that was going to come. All the tea leaves said that it was going to happen at some point. Most thought it would happen after the season, but they did it mid-season. Joe Prunty is the new interim coach, expected to be at the very least. That'll be the second time good old Joe was able to be a interim coach after the head coach got fired. If you forgot, he was the interim coach here in Milwaukee when Jason Kidd got fired as well. The Hawks are starting their search for a new head coach immediately. They want somebody who can be really good in player development, accountability, and getting the Hawks offense and defense into the league's top 10. Apparently, some of the candidates that are top of mind for them and number one on their list is apparently Quinn Snyder. We're also expected to consider Bucks assistant Charles Lee and Golden State assistant Kenny Atkinson. Boston name. Go ahead.
Sorry, two things about that. One, this is Trey's last coach. Like he's killed two so far. You don't get a third. Like Trey is the problem at this. Like, you know, the first one I can be like, hey, you know, maybe Lloyd Pierce, he wasn't a great coach, whatever. You know, you wanted something better. Then you butt heads with Nate McMillan too. Like, I don't know, fam. Like,
something going on.
You know, if you keep running into assholes, like, you might be the asshole. Like, I don't know. Like, and like we had the same conversation with Darvin Ham, but I really don't want Charles. I hope that's not Charles Lee's first head coaching opportunity. I mean, like, usually if you're a first-time head coach, you're probably going into a bad situation because they wouldn't have moved on from their previous coach if everything was Gucci. But
Dory.
Stepping into those two specific situations, it's like these are teams with expectations, with volatile head guys that can easily undermine you and get you the fuck up out of there.
Triple T in the comments. What up, sir? He said Trey is definitely the problem, and ATL might be better with DeJounte running it. I think we've seen him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Trey for Cat. I don't know. Like,
honestly, that's something I've been thinking about too. When talking about teams, teams that's doing moves and they looking different without somebody, and it's like, do we need it? Because now they starting to finally gel. It seems like with just Gobert being they big, and they could get a return for quality talent if they wanted to go that route.
But I mean, like, if you just swap Trey and Cat for each other, like, you might solve the issues for both teams.
Possibly. They got Gobert behind them, so Trey and backcourt ain't long.
And
I mean, like, they got Conley now, so like that may take away their need for a point guard, but you know,
Conley's a
if you can get a talent like Trae Young, you know, it's like, hey, thanks, Mike, or you just be a backup now.
Conley's the bridge player now, huh?
I mean, at this stage in his career, Conley only got so many seasons left in him.
That's wild from watching him in college.
That's
he
the same
talking
thing
about his daddy the whole time. So now he'll
be old, bro.
That's the same thing with Chris Paul. Chris Paul probably ain't gonna be a son next year.
He was almost a net this year. They tried to make it happen.
Also, Joe Mazzulla was named permanent head coach for the Boston Celtics. Clearly, Ime Udoka is not returning after the suspension. And then I saw also in Brooklyn, they extended Vaughn as their head coach as well.
Took away that interim title.
But
Congratulations.
He been had that going. They said, let's give you some more years on top of this.
Yeah.
And
Joe Mazzulla wasn't the step coach. He was the coach that stepped up.
Your ass.
So bad.
That's funny.
No, just one thing about Jack Vaughn before we move on. And like, I feel this way about Steven Silas too, but like, the players made a push for hire more black coaches. And then in those two instances, like, the stars that advocated for them to get the job immediately got the fuck out of there and kind of they definitely screwed Silas over. Like, it seems like Jack Vaughn has a little bit more security. But it's just like, players have to start taking responsibility for, like, they're asking for more and more power, more, like, control. Not leverage, but like more and more from these, more and more ownership stakes in these organizations until the shit that they advocate for falls to the wayside, and it's like, oh well, get me up out of here. Same thing with LeBron, like, hey, go get Westbrook. Y'all gotta give me some help, man. Like, Westbrook ain't it. Like, it's like you take ownership for the responsibility. You got to take responsibility for the things that you like, for the decisions that you are forcing these teams to make. And it's like you put in this black coach, and then you set him up for failure by like bouncing as soon as it gets rocky, or you change your mind or whatever it is. Like, that's just my little soapbox. Like,
I feel it. Some NFL transactions. The Raiders released Derek Carr, as we figured would happen. The Jets brought in Carr for a visit this past weekend, and that's the second team that he's met with, because he met with the Saints prior to being released. But here's the real here. No vet quarterback is going to get signed until people figure out what the Packers and Aaron Rodgers are doing. And I believe Aaron Rodgers is still in the dark right now, figuring out.
Somebody turn on the light!
Figuring out his next moves. And we talked about discourse a lot this week's episode. And discourse around Aaron Rodgers is really fascinating to me at this point, because, like, if somebody wants to go on a retreat away from everything and figure out their life, I'm here for it. He is getting clowned, and I know it's in part because of his history of just what he says, what he does, and whatnot. But like, honestly, I think that's kind of cool that he was like, I'm up to spend 4 days with nothing.
So he don't see us talking about trading him to the Jets.
See, here you go.
Hey, you gotta see that just happen. Just let it happen.
Like, for real, like the concept. I don't think I could do 4 days in the dark. That's a lot. But the concept of a week or whatever the case may be, without a phone, without talking to nobody else, just being able to be with my own thoughts, journal, whatever it is, figure things out. Like, if people had the privilege of time, that's how I'll say it, the privilege of time to be able to set time aside to do stuff like that and think about life, that's pretty cool. He's a multimillionaire quarterback who got time to do it. So go ahead and use your time. So I'm saying, so it's like, do what you gonna do, because I understand time is precious, and we all got jobs. We got 9 to 5s. Like, take out our full-time job. So
I've
like,
had that privilege once.
You only have so much time in a day. So like, people who clown on Aaron Rodgers, pretending in the dark or whatever like that, get your jokes off. I know jokes gonna joke. But if we being real here, the concept is kind of dope to spend some time figuring out what you're going to do with your life. I wish more people had that privileged time as well.
He usually on there on Tuesdays. Now, I was kind of looking. Tim said that Rodgers ain't journaling. Man's going to be on Pat McAfee podcast tomorrow, probably.
No, he
usually on Tuesdays.
He's on Tuesdays, and he went there. Mm-hmm. He's in the dark.
That's what I was looking for his ass. Did he come out the room yet?
And that's one thing he said. He said he ain't going to have no journals or nothing like that. He is literally just in the dark with nothing.
He was on his ass. They're like, so is it like a dude in the corner looking at you? Like, do you get to go to the bathroom? You wear a diaper? But some people do. Some people wear diapers. But there's probably going to be a guy in there to kind of give you water from time to time and things like that.
That's some rich white people stuff, right?
Boy.
There. So again,
creeping in the corner on you.
That's next level. What he doing?
I'm supposed to be alone, but there's somebody here.
With the concept, I'm here. Who are you? I'm here for the concept.
Shout out to Bomani Jones. Like, I watched a little bit of whatever his show is on HBO now. Mm-hmm. He brought up his report. What's the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving?
One didn't say anti-Semitic things, and the other one did. That's it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even before like the anti-Semitic slur, like or not slur, but like he posted that video. Like, I feel like the coverage was a little bit different for the two of them.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. If Rodgers would have came out and did his half-ass lie about the COVID shot at the same time that Kyrie dropped the anti-Semitic shit, I think they'd have been on fire.
No, the anti-Semitic stuff would have been over. But he got cooked for.
He got cooked.
Like, after the vaccine thing.
That's why I was like, they probably would have been.
But Kyrie got cooked for like.
The vaccine thing is when the whole public perception of Aaron Rodgers shifted.
Yeah.
And then he started doing like the Joe Rogan stuff.
He started leaning into the shit.
He leaned into it. But again, as a Packers fan, if you watch Aaron Rodgers, like, it's not surprising because he's always been a guy who's like, I like just hearing different ideas and trying to figure things out. And honestly, him and Kyrie probably would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Like, they both think they're much smarter than they are. Put it that way. And they'll let you know about it.
Oh, they will. They will.
Also, Jaylen Brown is trying really hard to be baby Kyrie, but that's a different conversation for a different day.
Oh no.
Yeah, it is. We ain't got that much time today. Aaron Jones reworked his deal to stay with the Packers, so he was scheduled to make $16 million, but he agreed to cut that by $5 in exchange for a signing bonus worth $8.5 million as part of his total pay for $11 million in the season. Let me tell y'all something. If I was an NFL player, y'all wanted to redo my contract and be like, I'm gonna give you a signing bonus now and give you $8 million of it now. Yes, do it. Yep, sign me up
Today.
here for it.
We
Here
had
for
7 players that we have.
Triple T said, "Thank you, Eric." Kyrie is fake woke. I mean, yeah. Big hole tip. And I hate that woke. The term woke has changed.
Bastardized.
It is now no longer a word that we use in our community to describe a certain type of person. It is now used
for everybody,
for everything.
Yeah.
And it's not the
white people use it as just like
anti-racist.
Yeah.
I just want to say one really quick thing because I wasn't here the week that Kyrie got traded. I feel like him demanding a trade is like the most reasonable, logical thing that he's done in the last 2 years. Like he's in the last year of his deal. Brooklyn clearly didn't want to re-sign him. He's going for security going forward. Like I don't have any problem with him. I ain't have any problem with him demanding a trade.
I mean, but I hear you on that. I actually his comments over the All-Star weekend about demanding a trade. Like, what's wrong with if he ain't best for business that you can't demand? You know, not every employer gets along with their employee. You ain't cool with every employer, and you ain't cool with every job. I don't see when it become an issue to make business decisions. What's best for you for business, but. You fucked up the business
players.
On the way.
But I just feel like people like lump in like all the other crazy Kyrie shit that he's done. It's just like, oh, this is just another thing in Kyrie's ledger. It's like this is kind of different. Like this is him looking to his next contract, which is what every star does and should do. Going like if you're in a lame duck contract situation, it's like you got to be looking for your next deal. And if Brooklyn clearly wants to put stipulations and shit on what they're willing to give you, and some other team is willing to give it to you just sight unseen, like, yeah, you probably should try to force your way to a situation that's going to give you more security going forward. So I didn't have a problem with it. And it wasn't that he left Brooklyn in the offseason, without getting anything back. Like they got Dorian Finney-Smith, who on his own could probably get you another 1 or 2 first-round picks. Yeah. Spencer Dinwiddie, who is, he's a flawed player, but he's still decent enough and he can give you some production from that spot, and you get an unprotected pick after Luka can leave. Essentially, like those 3 really good assets that they got back for a dude that they didn't want to have going forward. Like, yeah, it fucked up their relationship with KD, but that's a risk you run when they acquiesce to a trade demand. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but like he actually did do them a solid, like forcing his way out ahead of time as opposed to waiting to the offseason where he could walk for 0 compensation. So I don't have a problem with it personally. But that, it's just me. And also, Kyrie is just a complicated dude because like he does do shit that I completely disagree with. But at the same time, he also does give a lot of money to charity and doesn't really do it for publicity. Like he does shit under the radar. Like he'll give to like GoFundMe's. And like he won't publicize it. Like somebody else will pick it up and be like, "Hey, look, Kyrie gave $50,000 to his person's scholarship or whatever." Like he does a lot of good stuff. So I don't want to paint it just as he's a bad dude. I think he's just misguided. Like I don't think he's as smart as he thinks he is. And he's adversarial with the media, so like it always gets spun in a bad way because like he doesn't do himself any favors. Like the way that he talks to reporters and whatnot. Like it's always like a mystery, and it's always like well, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It's like, well, we're asking you about it. Do you want to tell us? It's
no,
like,
you don't know my life.
It's like, okay, well then we gonna fill in the blanks. Like that's what people do. Like they try to make sense of what evidence they have at their own disposal. And it's like you could help that along if you not necessarily play along, but it's like give them something. Like if people ask you a direct question, like maybe answer it.
No, that's too much. That's too much.
But it's like, no, you just don't know what's going on. Like you're dehumanizing me. It's like, yes, professional athletes are dehumanized, but like at the same time, like they're giving you a platform to speak, and you're choosing not to sell your side of it. So again, like I don't have a problem. Like I have a problem with like the anti-Semitic stuff that he posted, but like, I don't have a problem with Kyrie in totality because I do feel like he is well intentioned, but he doesn't have the mental sharpness to see through, or at least like to play the PR game to where people can see like what he's trying to do. I don't know. That's my little 2-week-old.
I feel you. All right, let's wrap up and get out of here. The Cardinals hired Philly defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon as their new head coach. Washington Commanders, they're hiring Eric Bieniemy, who, as we all know, has been with the Chiefs as their OC for a very, very, very long time. But going to Washington, he now also gets that title of assistant head coach. So the promotion and title, contract.
So out of the 4.
Oh, go ahead.
So out of the 4 coordinators from the Super Bowl, 3 of them got new jobs, 2 of them got head coaching jobs, and 1 got a lateral move.
Well, technically it's not lateral. It's a promotion and title. It's a promotion contractually. It's multi-year, and it's also a pay raise. So
I think he's an associate head coach.
He didn't get his own job. I mean, he didn't get his own team.
Head coach and offensive coordinator. Yeah, he didn't get his own team, but he got a promotion, so to speak.
Which is still kind of wild because anybody feel like most people with his resume as an offensive coordinator would have had a head coaching job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hell, the Eagles had 1 good year on defense, and the defensive coordinator got a damn job.
Don't know what it is about him. But...
And they OC. They lost their OC and they DC. Like, they got to replace the.
That's what I'm saying. Huh? Anyway, sorry, I derailed it. Go ahead.
Jim Bob Cooter is expected to be named the OC for the Indianapolis Colts. I said that I had that in here just for Ken because I know he last at the
Jim
name
Bob
Jim
Cooter.
Bob Cooter. Chargers defensive coordinator Ronaldo Hill is leaving LA to reunite with Miami defensive coordinator Vic Fangio and become the Dolphins' past defensive game coordinator. Do want to just mention the fact that Saints running back Alvin Kamara is among 4 people who were indicted for an alleged 2022 Vegas nightclub beating. Something for folks to just keep an eye on as that plays out in the court systems.
That was a wild story. Did you read it? Did you see the story?
Yeah, that's what I said. As it plays out, like just keep an eye out on however this unfolds because it can have some impacts here.
One quick correction from earlier, like Tim, you were saying like you thought that the All-Star game was in Vegas next year. That's the Super Bowl that's in Vegas. I think that's what
I thought we corrected that with the LA thing.
He was thinking.
No, you did. I was just saying like I think that's where your mind was going. Like
I
you
got
were thinking Vegas All-Star is Vegas for Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think which order to go here. You got your blow the whistle.
Right.
Before we get into that, though, I do want to just say rest in peace to Christian Atsu. He was found dead under the building where he lived in southern Turkey after the earthquakes that took place in the region last week. Rest in peace to him, as well as the countless others who lost their lives in those earthquakes. Wow. As soon as I saw how big those earthquakes were, I was like, that's wild. Like,
Earth is doing some things right now, bro.
It's
always doing that.
Pay attention to it. Nah, it's doing some shit right now. Because I think at some point, maybe it's a conspiracy, maybe it's not, but they said that the Earth's core slowed down or stopped spinning at some point.
It did, but what people didn't do was continue to read the article, which says the Earth's core does that, and then it spins back the other way. Yeah, so
Same thing with people talking about the having COVID gives you the same immunity as getting immunized. It's like, yeah, but getting immunized lessens the chances of you dying from COVID. So maybe get the shot instead of like playing Russian roulette with COVID.
Tim, go ahead and blow the whistle, sir. Rubbing his hands together, he's getting ready for this.
All right, now that's enough out of you. You know what? Tee his ass up. Boy. These Milwaukee Brewers of mine. I understand that lately arbitration hearings have been sided with the teams in the MLB. So for those who don't know, after you play a certain amount of time in the minor leagues and in the MLB, you have a number of arbitration hearings to increase your salary, or your team can give you a long-term contract. If they don't want to give you a long-term deal, they have control over you still because of the arbitration hearings, which allows them and you to go and fight for your salary. We have a top 3 pitcher in the MLB on our team.
Period.
Point blank. Won the Cy Young 2 seasons ago. Not this past season, the season before. I'm sorry. We squabbling with him over $750,000. So instead of giving the man $11 million for a Cy Young award-winning top 3 pitcher in his prime in the MLB, we said, no, fuck that shit. You take this 10 and a quarter and be happy with it. So what'd he do? Yeah, I'm not really happy about this shit. No, that probably killed our relationship and this shit. So now Milwaukee more than likely will have to trade one of the best pitchers in the MLB, more than likely to some big ass market team like the Dodgers or some shit like that, because we didn't want to give him $750,000 extra dollars when he clearly will make gobs more, probably 3 times as much when he actually hits free agents. I don't appreciate the fact that we have a small market team. We got an owner who initially came in ready to spend, like, fuck that small market stuff. Like, I understand we're going to lose a little bit of money, but if we want to build a winner, we got to spend some money. So now we've had good talent. We trade them away for maybes often. So the one time that you actually have a player who wants to stay in Milwaukee as a top 3 pitcher that's in his prime that just won the Cy Young in the MLB, you don't want to give him $750,000 damn dollars that I know we got. And then they claim it we don't because we still got to get $150+ million for the repairs on the damn thing. So now they talking about y'all motherfuckers cheap. Y'all been cheap. And don't hit me with the Brewers is relative to the... No. We've been living here. We've been seeing how they've been pulling back and not giving money to certain people. We lost our GM, who's been pretty much the catalyst of the resurgence of the Milwaukee Brewers. Probably because they cheat. We lost and traded one of the better players that we had last year. And on his way out the door, he said, yeah, my salary was probably a little bit too big. I'm talking about
Hunter Renfroe.
Who? Hunter Renfroe, yes. He said I seen it coming. I kind of knew it was coming because I make too much money. If we traded him to save money, but don't want to give $750 of it to the new guy, not the new guy, the player that we should keep, what are we saving it for? You still asking for $150 million for the stadium. Where are we saving this money? Why are we spending it on the guy? So I'm going to blow the whistle on the Milwaukee Brewers and they cheap asses. As Milwaukee say, pro cash, niggas. Spend the goddamn money so we can have a contender, because right now it's looking like you're in it to just have a team and that's to win the chip. When we are playing this sport, we watch this sport, we love these teams to win a chip, to win a playoff series, to win games, to do things that make us happy, to go spend money on the team that you wouldn't have to beg for $150 million for the stadium. They probably would have been able to get a petition or whatever like that. People would have been cool. But we don't have that. And we can't never have that. And Brewers probably won't ever be that relevant outside of what we had 2-3 years ago, because we don't have the owner or owners who've been willing to actually spend the money to keep a really good team for years. I'll blow it on them. And I hope y'all asses open.
I think about owners is always like, if you're not willing to spend, sell the fucking team. Like, you don't buy a sports team as a money-making endeavor. Like, you spend to keep the team competitive. Like, I don't know.
I would think you bought the team because you like sports and you like that actual sport that you bought the team in, that you want to see that team that you bought.
I mean, like he never really had. He bought the Brewers on credit, so like he never really had it. But
my cousin said like, that he also got a soccer team. He's part of the people that's the ownership group for Norwich City, I believe, over in England. So he has a soccer team too. Where's this money at? Where is this money? Why are you asking for money? You buying other teams in England? Where's the American money? What about the team over here on this side of the pond? I don't understand it. And then they want to give you the rigmarole. It's a small market. We lose money unless we sell out every game, which the Brewers pretty much do. They say every year they tell, we got this many. Every year's record. Every year we sold out this many. Please do better.
There you have it. Last piece that we have on the docket for this evening is just mentioning the fact that WWE had the Elimination Chamber live event. We don't call pay-per-views anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not pay-per-view anymore.
It's not.
It's Peacock.
Premium live event.
There you go. Premium live events. Just, how'd you feel about the pay-per-view?
I only saw the main event and it cracked.
That shit. All the feels for that main event. Oh my God. Emotions everywhere. That was great. That was the best part of the night. But the men's Elimination Chamber was very, very close.
I'll say the last two matches of the night were outstanding. The men's Elimination Chamber match going into that main event with Roman versus Sammy was cracking way to end the show. I tell you that. That was some good entertaining wrestling right there.
Brock versus Bobby, that was some... Bro, stop putting matches on the card to job them in 2 seconds, bro. Why is it a 2-minute match on the card? Why is it even the... What's the point? But they did say Elimination Chamber had the highest viewership in all Elimination Chamber history. It was like plus 52% in like viewership this year from last year. They had the biggest ticket revenue at the box, at the gate and shit like that. Like everything about this Elimination Chamber was record breaking in WWE terms, and mainly because of the main event.
Yep.
And it happened to be in Canada where Sami Zayn is a native. It was.
I don't think that was a coincidence, my brother. Like, they built up to that.
Yeah, like they really did. They did their thing with that mother, and they still building it. They still building it.
There's more story to tell.
And WrestleMania is gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild.
Can I just say to all the smart marks who think that they're too smart to get worked? Like, you got worked, bro. Like, you upset about the outcome of that match. You think WWE is just too stupid to capitalize on this white hot story that they got going. Like, bro, they knew exactly how you were going to react to the decision that they made. They got you like, if you looked at it rationally, like, no, they're not going to change. They're not going to end a 900-day championship reign on a pay-per-view 2 months before WrestleMania. That's not going to happen. But you bought into the storyline so hard that you convinced yourself that this was going to happen because Sammy's in his hometown and blah, blah, blah.
His wife
you got
and
work,
family,
yo. Now you upset because you got work and you thought you couldn't get work.
Now look at you. All work.
Oh my God, they made the wrong decision. No. He's been that guy for a while.
Because they got ideas for what they're going to do afterwards. Like, there's still more story to tell after this. And they want to keep you coming back. So they're not going to give you the gratification. Because, like, if Sammy wins there, then what's next? What is there to tell after that?
There's always that. What's next?
You got to have a reason to tune in on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Should be fun. Oh, so congrats to Asuka. She's going to be placing Bianca at WrestleMania. Austin Theory retained his title for the United States Championship in the men's. I can't wait. The Trumpets is coming back. He'll be back on the 3rd. John Cena. He's coming back to Raw. Oh, Malik was singing his theme song. He would have been a Cena baby.
That's what he appealed for.
But we good.
What he appealed for. That's all we got for y'all here this week. It's time for me to go home. If you want to follow me on social media, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On Twitter, Instagram, PSN, Hard Work Legacy Street, Apple Music if you want a playlist or two. At Camille Monet, CAMILLEMONAE. Appreciate y'all.
At Bucks Burner on Twitter.
That's all you get.
That's all you get.
What was it? I still don't know this.
K Harris 216 on Instagram. No,
so.
K Harris 216 on Twitter. Everyday_gentleman on Instagram.
See, somebody know your ass. And it's your boy TIMKIN, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. We out this bit, be easy.
Peace out, y'all. You and this be easy. KTI.